We will not take a lecture on decorum from a party that incited an insurrection. I appear to live rent-free in the minds of some of my Republican colleagues. I wish that they would spend even a fraction of the time that they spend thinking about me, thinking about how to lower the costs for American families.
We are back, and today we have to talk about Congressperson Sarah McBride. Sarah McBride is a transgender female from the state of Delaware who is the first transgender elected to the United States Congress. And we talk about McBride today because the Democrats are using McBride as a tool to push back on the Trump administration's basically trying to stop all the transgender nonsense being done to children in our country, especially in education. President Trump is against teaching young children, middle school, elementary school, and before, about all these transgender issues. And these LGBTQ activists insist that children that young need to know what they can become if they choose to. Well, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm pretty sure as far as most Americans are concerned, children don't need to learn about transgenderism. Children need to know that there are two genders, male and female. And when they grow up and they're adults, and if they decide there's more than two genders, then so be it. They'll be old enough to decide on their own. But McBride also paid a visit to a school, and it was a event, I guess you want to call it, basically backed by the National Education Association, to talk to very young school children.
She went with her family to the doctor, and the doctor said that she's a girl, and everyone should see her and treat her like a girl, right? Which is to say that they should call her Jazz, and they should treat her with respect and be nice to her. But can I ask you one more question? So that journey that she had from people thinking she was a boy, and the fact that Jazz knew she was a girl, to her parents and her friends accepting her as the girl that she is, that journey is called being transgender. And like Jazz said, that makes her a little different from some of the other kids. And Jazz at the end talks about how being different is good, right?
And there it is. You saw that and you heard that. What these transgender activists always say they don't do is they don't push this issue on young children. They're not trying to harm children. They believe that the children will someday figure it out on their own. But they also believe they'll figure it out when they're 4, 5, 6 years old, or maybe younger, or maybe a little older. But what Congressperson McBride is doing is pushing the transgender issue on these very young minds. And the congressperson thinks that they are standing up to the Trump administration because McBride lives rent-free in their heads. Quite frankly, the Trump administration and any other conservative in Congress could care less about McBride, or could care less about what McBride calls themselves. What they care about is harming the young, impressionable minds of young children, like you saw in that video clip. Those were very young children. If I had to guess, I'd say 6, 7, 8, maybe a little younger. I really don't know. But my point is, and if you saw the sign next to McBride on one side, it mentioned about LGBTQ in schools and what have you. When are these people going to understand that a lot of the talks that they're giving in schools, the parents of some of these children know nothing about it. The parents of some of these children want nothing to do with it. But you'll also have the woke parents who applaud this and basically try to convince their boy or girl that they are something else. And to me, they're nothing but woke liberals being brainwashed by the mainstream liberal media and politicians like McBride, who want to continue to speak about this issue in front of young, impressionable minds. Well, I, for one, and I've said this so many times when I talk about this issue, I could care less if men want to be women or call themselves women, or if women want to call themselves men. I could really care less. I don't know anyone like that, but it wouldn't bother me personally if they were an adult. If they were over 18 years of age and this was a choice they made on their own, I wouldn't care, and I'm pretty sure no one else would care. So this is the problem we're seeing over and over again, and we're continuing, to see it now with the Trump administration trying to stop this nonsense in schools. But the left and the congressional Democrats are insistent on pushing the LGBTQ movement, on young people. And it's wrong, and I don't know why they're doing it other than they're going to get votes from the parents and all these activist groups, because no child under the age of 18 should be sitting in a classroom while a transgender person reads them a book about the issue and tries to convince them that it's okay if you want to change your gender. And again, it is okay if you're an adult. These are the people that need to be stopped. They need to be voted out of office unless they change their mind about who they speak to about issues such as the transgender one. Enough is enough with this nonsense.